So we're going to be back up and running on YouTube and channel. So, and the 24-hour channel. So Chris, you can go back to YouTube if you want. All right. We'll lighten it up a little bit. Jesse's a military family. Let's go back to the whole bed conversation, shall we? I'll just see what you guys have written on here. After the kids are on the bus, you make your bed? I will. I like to razz her, though. You make your bed almost every day. You do. When a bed is made, I feel like you just sleep better. And Bob's your uncle. It was hiking in Yosemite last year at 99 years old. That's crazy. All right. Let's see what you're saying. So, yep. You're very welcome, Emily. Good morning, Jamie. How are you? You were in your home economics class when the attacks happened. It's crazy. You put a PowerPoint show together about it, did you? That's really cool. Has anybody been back to New York City since they've rebuilt everything? You saw the rubble and the destruction that we were involved with, but I have not been back to New York City since then. The funny thing is while I was in the Twin Towers, remember I told you I was there for the 4th of July that year. When I was in we went to the Twin Towers, but it was like $30 or something like that to go to the top of the Twin Towers to take a look at the skyline and the city view. We opted not to. We went to the Empire State Building instead because we were like, well, we're not going to spend $100 just to go to the top of two buildings, right? So we decided the iconic landmark of the Empire State Building instead of the Twin Towers. Hindsight's 2020. If I were to go back and do it again, and knowing this was going to happen, I would have gone to the top of the Twin Towers just to get that perspective because they were so tall. But, it's interesting too. If you watch TV shows or videos or movies, it's interesting how you can always tell when those movies were filmed. Because there are still some movies out there with the Twin Towers in them. You're like, that was pre 9/11. It does feel fresh, doesn't it? It's weird. And I don't know why I'm getting all choked up about it, but I guess because I was there, it did play a significant impact in my life, in my career, because I wish I could share all the pieces. I actually don't have all the pieces. I've tried to get a hold of them from the TV station to see if they had them, because I really would love to gather all the pieces. I had them on a tape, and an old janitor threw my tape away, thinking it was trash. So I only have that one piece, but I did a 6-part series, and they were all amazing. Not just because I did it, but just because they just all turned out great. Spent weeks and weeks on that story. That's right. You guys are all awesome. You're welcome, Rick. You were in chemistry class, huh? In your sophomore year of high school. Nice. Yeah, you're very welcome, Lisa. Thanks, Joanne. Yeah, you live close to Morristown Airport. Yeah, the silence was crazy. And I had talked about this before, that actually the weather computer models, while they were not as fine-tuned 20 years ago that they are today, still the weather models, and this happened during COVID as well, but all the computer information to forecast weather was not as accurate, because we do help to put model data in, airplanes help to put information into the model data, which makes it a more accurate model forecast when we're forecasting the weather. You were in the middle of work living in Florida. The warehouse outside of the office went dead silent, which rarely happened. A lot were crying. It was, I don't think it was I hate to say it this way, it was the ultimate train wreck. We could not stop watching the news. We could not stop watching TV. We could not stop watching the information that unfolded after that. We were all locked and loaded on the TV, weren't we? And of course, we weren't into the YouTube and Facebook era that we are today. I'd be interested in what it would be like if it played out. We don't want to, obviously, but I'm not curious. What's the best words of saying this? It'd be interesting to see how it would play out today. So many years later with the technology that we have. Thanks, Mel. Juanita says, I'll never forget watching this at Walmart's TVs near the entrances when this happened. I called back to my travel agency, and then Nat over the charter flight, and then something over a charter flight over Vacation Express. I'm not quite sure what you're saying. We were all shocked. We canceled all travel arrangements. You were working at UT and had a professor whose daughter was supposed to be in the first plane. She overslept, and we all cried with him. There are blessings, aren't there? You're welcome, Tammy. Oh, Eva, I'm so sorry to hear that. You have been back, Lisa, have you? Is it fascinating? Does it do? I mean, I think they did a great job, I think, right? On commemorating and memorializing that whole space. Because there was controversy on whether or not to build another really tall tower in that same spot. But I think I've heard in the pictures, of course, and the news stories I've seen over the years, looks like they've done a great job. I was there when they were rebuilding in 2010. It was so powerful seeing the crater. That crater was incredible, wasn't it? It was incredibly large. But when you have that much energy and force coming straight down to the ground, it's no wonder it did that. You were a senior in high school at your government and economics class. We were in the computer lab working on our stock market projects. It's crazy. It's like music. Certain events in our lives is kind of like music, if you will. You can play songs from like your childhood, and doesn't it take you back to a certain time, a certain place, a certain moment of your life? Certain songs do. I think that's the same thing with this. We know exactly where we were when this happened. Let's hope I don't get kicked off of YouTube and Facebook by tomorrow. If there's no Wake Up with Witcher tomorrow, well, you know why. All the credit goes to KJCT Channel 8 News in Grand Junction, Colorado. They do own the rights to that. So I'm playing with fire over here, aren't I? I remember exactly where you were. You were working in Oak Ridge. That's what happened to the Kennedy tapes. You're from upstate New York and it still hits hard. Well, hopefully you enjoyed that story that we put together. Every year I remember it so vivid, I will never forget that sad day. And so much of our generations, like our kids, will really just, and I hope they never have to experience anything like that. I hope we never have to do anything like this again. We know that's probably not the case. It's a crazy world we live in. We know there's going to be other things, unfortunately. And there will probably be a big event or two in their lifetime. Just like there were big events in our parents' lifetimes and their parents' lifetimes. And so on and so forth, right? I was flying out on 9/12 to Mexico, so that trip didn't happen till a year later. Yeah, they grounded all flights, immediately, I think. And then they got the ones that were in the sky onto the ground pretty quickly. I'll chime in with that, Felicia. I will chime in with that, actually. I think you're 100% right. There's a lot of there's a lot of nonsense going on in our schools right now with social media and threats. Now, those threats seem to have been mitigated. And the conversation my wife and I had last night is, how do we present this as adults, as parents, as people to our kids who are 9 and 11, mind you, There was an 11-year-old involved with this. How do we present this to our kids to be educational, informative, but yet stay aware of your surroundings? And by the way, don't do these things. You will get in trouble. You will end up in jail. Don't do these things. Things we have to navigate as a parents, You were off the East Coast on the ship watching the radar looking for the next attacks for weeks. Oh, never thought I'd be in a deployment tempo just off of our home shores. Well, thank you, Tom. Thank you for your service. They did do a great job. I'd like to go back there. I've not been back there since, so. Came up on the monitors and televisions in the office and the warehouse. A lot were just staring, if not crying. My coworker had friends who worked there. It was strange. So much changed in the weeks following, but it was like a lot of us were afraid to move. That's a good way of saying that, Mel. I think you're right. What's the next move? What do we do? How do we move on? What do we do after this, right? Yeah. You were there that day. Lisa, I'm so sorry. Were you just in New York City? You were working in Lenore City? You're very welcome, Lisa. One of my favorite stories from the 9/11 attack are the planes that were diverted to the small town in Canada. The hospitality and service that small town provided the folks was incredible. Thanks, Lisa. Amen to that, Kathy. They know about Jesus. I mean, it's like one of those things, like it's, you lose somebody. And you never forget. Time heals for sure, but on big events like this, and big days like this, and anniversaries of loved ones losing their lives, I can only imagine. What these people are going through today. So if you get a chance, maybe say a little prayer. Give those people across the world, across our country, maybe a thought and a prayer. Might be a good thing. You had a good friend in Tower 2 that made it out? That's the truth. Yeah. Whew, we've been talking, we've been doing this for an hour, my friends. We did a lot of weather, we did a little bit of weather. We did a lot more other stuff, didn't we? I think I've gone over everything here this morning. If you are joining us right now and you missed the forecast at the very beginning, I know we've kind of diverted, but thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for watching that. Thank you for listening and paying attention and joining every single day. I do appreciate you all so much. I remember this morning's Wake Up with Witcher was sponsored by Volunteer Home Mortgage. You can visit them online, volunteerhomemortgage.com, or of course you can call them at 865-238-7500 if you are looking for a mortgage. In Tennessee, Georgia, or even the Sunshine State. We're talking Florida. Remember, we've got Hurricane Francine that could become a Category 2 hurricane later on today, making landfall in Louisiana. That's going to be heading our way and giving us increasing rain chances as we head into the upcoming weekend. All those details and so much more as I flip the switch back to the 24-hour Weather Channel. Have a wonderful and blessed day, my friends. I really appreciate you a lot every single day. See you tomorrow.
From the East Tennessee Weather Center, here's your morning weather update with meteorologist Mike Witcher.
And good morning. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Sure hope you have a great day, and hopefully you've had a great week so far. We've seen those temperatures gradually warm. We're going to do it again throughout the day today, but there are rain chances on the way, cloud coverage, and cooler temperatures. However, a little bit more humidity. So let's go ahead and get to work with the forecast. We'll start you off first things first with the almanac from yesterday. We did have a pretty seasonable day. Around East Tennessee, temperatures were in the low, mid, and upper 80s, so nice, solid average day. We'll continue to see increasing high-level clouds at times throughout the day today, maybe a few more jet contrails. I think we'll see those clouds increasing even more so on Thursday, and some light rain late in the day, mainly south of Interstate 40. Then Friday through the weekend, Francine will bring us elevated rain chances, but it's not going to be a total washout. So let's talk about Francine. It is now a hurricane, Category 1 hurricane. Winds are now sustained. They're maxed at 90 miles per hour, and it is tracking to the northeast at 10 miles per hour. So it's going to be making landfall, maybe as a Category 2. The National Hurricane Center has it as a Category 2 later on today into early tomorrow morning as it makes landfall. So we'll see what it does there across parts of Louisiana, moving its way up the Mississippi River Valley, and that's what's going to bring us our unsettled weather. So through the day today, we'll see increasing high-level clouds associated with Francine. Lunchtime temperatures will be topping out in the upper 70s. As we get into the afternoon, we're going to be a little bit warmer, just like yesterday. Dew points will be a little bit higher as well, so that's going to make it feel a little bit warmer throughout the day today as we top out in the mid to upper 80s. Maybe near 90 across the Southern Valley, low to mid 80s across the Tennessee-Kentucky border. And as we get into the evening, those clouds should give us an amazing sunset. Hopefully you captured that. If you did, you should send me a picture through the Witcher's Pictures link using the East Tennessee weather app. By 8 o'clock tonight, 78 and dry. Dew point trend's going to be on the increase. As I mentioned, the dew points are going to come up, so we've got a lot of tropical moisture moving its way into the area, so it is going to feel rather muggy as we get into the weekend. So here's Francine. We're going to continue to see that move its way inland, probably making landfall sometime later on this evening, moving up the Mississippi River Valley. That's going to throw high clouds and some light precipitation. But notice Thursday and Friday, we have that wraparound moisture associated with Francine. So again, it's not going to be an all-day washout. It's just going to be scattered showers and maybe a few rumbles of thunder possible. But just through Friday evening, not a ton of rainfall expected across East Tennessee. We're going to get some downsloping winds because around a low-pressure system, you get counterclockwise rotation, and that's going to pull the winds perpendicular to the Smoky Mountains, which is going to produce some breezier conditions up across the Smokies, but also bring us a downsloping wind, which is a Chinook wind, which is a warming, drying, compressing wind, i.e. it shuts down the rain chances, and so we're not looking at a huge chance. Now, there's the energy from Francine. Now we're in the mid-levels of the atmosphere. But I wanted to show you something cool. So Francine just kind of wobbles around the Tennessee Valley, kind of opens up as an open wave, slowly slips its way kind of the energy down to the southeastern coastline. Another low pressure system looks like it's going to form. That moves its way back inland, and that could give us elevated rain chances as we get into next week. We're like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday time frame. So we'll keep an eye on that and see what Francine does. But it is going to bring us those elevated rain chances. So all the way through Sunday, here around East Tennessee, we're talking anywhere from a quarter to over an inch of rainfall. But watch this. As that next little wave moves its way in, as we get into next week, it's going to pull in more showers, and some of those may head our way. So we'll definitely keep you posted on how this all plays out in the coming days. Again, locally, anywhere from a quarter of an inch of rain upwards of about an inch and a quarter across the Southern Valley. It looks like the Southern Valley will get the most rain. Temperatures come on down thanks to the cloud coverage and the scattered showers and the system moving its way on through. So we're going to be below average as we round out the week and head into the weekend. However, looking ahead from the Climate Prediction Center, that may kind of reverse itself and we may get back to above average. All right, so let's talk precipitation, shall we? Elevated rain chances, 30% on Thursday, and that's mainly south of Interstate 40. We'll bump that up to a 60% scattered showers on Friday and can hang on to those elevated rain chances. But I think if you're heading off to the football game on Saturday, I don't think it's going to be a total washout, but I think you definitely need to grab the rain gear. And of course, check in Saturday morning before you head off doing some tailgating. It's the kickoffs at 7:45, so we'll start tailgating right around noon at 69 degrees, a chance of some scattered showers. As we get into the kickoff hour, we're going to be seeing those temperatures right around 70, and then we'll drop into the mid to upper 60s by the end of the game. But again, you'll want to check back in. And you can track all the latest information with the East Tennessee Weather app. The interactive radar is great. You can get the National Hurricane Center's information from Francine right there with the interactive radar, current conditions, and of course your daily forecast weather updates by yours truly every single day. Just go to your app store and search East TN Weather, all one word. We sure hope you have a great day. Again, it's going to be another warm, breezy day. Not necessarily breezy, but warm with some high clouds. And the rain chances start to ramp up as we wrap up the week and head into the weekend. All right, your next weather update's coming up at noon. We'll have more updates on Francine and what she's doing and when she makes landfall. Make sure you check out on social media. I'm on YouTube, Roku TV, Amazon Fire, And you can always log on to easttnweather.com. Have a great day.